Engine 1 from car 1. Car 1's on scene. If they've been command, give me a CAN report.
Do you get excited with the words incipient? No, it means beginning. So do me a favor. 2 or 3 of you come up close, drop down to one knee right here so the smoke's not hitting your face. Put your camera side by side for me. And I want you to look at the difference inside this little tiny fire where you see color already. Do you see color already on this camera? Which is impressive because it doesn't show until 500. This is showing it earlier than that one, right? And you see the difference, and you can see the convection currents coming out the top, right? We got a small, tiny fire, right? But you should see heat already. And what you ought to notice is the air here, visibly, the intake, and the exhaust here, right? So this is a basic fire, but what I want you to look at is what your camera's already showing on these small heat signatures. And as it gets hotter, you're going to see more impressive colorization, convection, and the stages of fire growth, okay?
That low sensitivity. Hey, Chief, what was the time frame on the pros?
0.3 of a second on the old ones, and that one is faster than that.
Yeah. It's,
so do me a favor, point it down on the ground and put this side by side like they're married together. Raise them up on the count of 3 and look at the fire. 1, 2, 3. Instantaneous on both, right? Now, if RJ does that with his, he's going to notice a delay on the FLIR, and the seat's going to be instantaneous.
I can see it now.
Now, you can cheat. I can show you how to program it so your firefighters don't get frustrated, though.
Yeah.
But you got to retrain them on how to do it if they already know how to operate to begin with.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Where you're sitting, you should see, flip yours over, your bullard, and turn yours sideways. You can see convection rolling out the side really well. If you take that bullard behind you, sir, and come up next to him and put it next to that seat, compare the convection currents on both of those. Look at the difference, how they display them different. They're both great cameras, but they show this heat differently, don't they?
And the thing is,
okay.
Convection current, you can't see it.
Yeah. So that's a big difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, we tell the public when they go to bed at night, do what?
Yeah.
And what does the dispatcher tell them to do? So I'm going to close the door.
Yeah.
How long do you think it's going to take to put this fire out? All right. I want you to look inside here and tell me, even though we have smoke, how much heat's left inside of here? A lot. But is smoke flammable? Yes. 30 years ago, I was taught, don't you put water on smoke. We know better now, but unfortunately, that mentality still exists in the United States today. And we are still fighting fires with a 1950s mindset. Let me move out of your way. Notice how quickly this rebounds. And
Starting again.
go take that FLIR y'all have right there, put them side by side with the seat. And what I want y'all to do is point it down to the ground and then raise them up on the count of 3 and look at the fire. 1, 2, 3, go. That's what a firefighter is going to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I was trying to show you that video where Kyle didn't pause.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you can see it's heating up that.
So that now I can show you how to cheat that. Every camera we can install things and help you with that. Look how quickly this rebounded.
Yeah.
Our wet carpet's still holding on. Look at our firefighter. Look what's happening to him.
He's getting heated.
All right, we're going to close it down again. Watch again, gentlemen. We're taking away the heat. We're taking away the air. Now look inside here. You ready? How hot is that? You see yellows or oranges?
Yeah.
Is this flammable?
Yep.
This time I lit it from out here. A minute ago, I had to innovate the fire with the torch. Okay. So big difference this time, right? So what I want you to do now is grade convection. Look at the convection coming out the top of this box where flames are not, and how easy is it to see on any camera? Because that's what you're going to have to identify first in most of the fires you go to. You're going to have smoke, obviously, but I'm going to see convection before I see color. Yep. Chief's gone. He's starting to fall. Our paper's lit off. Is our wet carpet still holding on? Yeah. It's surrounded by fire, not burning. Look at our dry carpet. It's gone. So we have fire floor to ceiling, but we don't really have impingement yet because we don't have charring, so to speak. But I want you to see, yep, there goes the chief. Must be nap time. I was a 2 to 4 guy. So here we go. We're getting into our more fully developed phase, but we're not quite hot enough to do vent point ignition. But I want to show you as we intensify this, what we can and can't see. So our first demonstration we're going to do, gentlemen, is we're going to require a little audience participation. So if y'all can all line up side by side right here next to Hank, kind of line up side by side. This is the tough part of class where we have to follow instructions. So line up like you're side by side, like getting stretched out. And all I want you to do is look at the fire from where you're at. And here's what I want you to do. Make sure we have FLIR, Bullard, Seek, all of them up here. I want you to slowly back up until Make sure they're all in TI basic too when you do this. Slowly back up until you can no longer see color. And when you can no longer see color in your camera, take a knee, or if you're doing dual cameras, just lay the camera down on the ground. Just don't point at the sun. You're going to have to be straight in line, not at an angle. Come on over. Yeah, watch out for fire gear and stuff behind you, please. I'm not responsible for trip hazards. Somebody's got the best view back there riding high. When you lose color, drop to one knee.
It's a bad camera.
Is it? What's going on?
No. It's it's awesome.
Oh, I was like, yes. It's impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, I just put it in the building.
Yep. Watch this. All right. If you've lost color, stay on one knee and the rest of you keep backing up. Keep going, RJ. Yeah, 900 feet. All right, my man at the very back. How far away are you? How far? All right. Come on back. I want you to talk to these people right here. Come on up here. Y'all stay right there. I'm not going to make you back up to the fence. You could go to the fence, but I don't know if you want to do exercise today. So we're letting our box get hot. We're doing two things. We're doing a distance test and we're doing that. So 900 feet is what your Seek and the new FLIR can do with 1 pixel to pick it up. So what I want you to notice is the reason why these cameras kicked out is their percentage based. So when they lost that percentage of pixels, they went back to high sensitivity. And notice the one with the highest resolution kicked out first. So just because you have a higher resolution doesn't mean you're going to have an effective distance range. Okay.
So what's the percentage for the bullets?
2% of the pixels at 302 degrees, but that's 2% times 307,200 pixels. That's a lot of pixels that have to be in that. And when you back up, once you lose that, it's out. All right, let's do our next test. This one's going to be an object identification test. Come on up. Stand right here on that crack again. Approximately how far away is that line right there? What did I tell you why NFPA chose 320 by 240 resolution to help you as the minimum standard for what you need in the camera?
You can identify it, baby.
All right, look at my hand over here. Can you make out all 5 fingers? Watch as my hand drops in front of it. Does it change with the heat behind it? Yes, no? Okay. Does it get brighter or darker? Anybody else get darker? So does it change? Look at my hand now. Look at this hand versus that hand. Why is this one different? You don't touch it, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
So here's our demonstration. You ready? All I want you to do this time, you're going to back up, but you're not going to have to go nowhere near as far. You ready? Can you see all 5 fingers with the fire behind it? Slowly back up this time. You won't go very far. When you can't see all 5 fingers, you let me know. Uh-oh, there goes my fire. Hang on. Wind got me. All right, how far away are you? All right, somebody at the back's a little further. Here's what I want you to think about. That's with high heat behind me. What if you're in a low heat environment where everything's the same temperature? Your camera's going to struggle even worse. So 2 areas you're going to have trouble seeing. Early and at the end. The in-between, a lot of cameras work really good when you get into the 300 range. It's when I'm trying to find it or I'm overwhelmed with heat. You need to be aware of that when he talks about object and hazard identification. All right, let's play with your cameras a little bit. Seek cameras, put them in survey mode. FLIR cameras, if you have the multi-button, put it in search and rescue mode. Come right back up here to right where you were. And I want you to look at my hand. Notice that in that mode, everything washes out with color, right? Yeah. All right. So this is too hot for that particular mode. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yes.
Everybody agree with that?
Yes.
You're a live fire trainer, and your guy looks like this in the burn building. What's wrong here? Look at my coat. Would just squeezing my arm be fun right now?
No.
What do they tell you not to do to each other in a burn building or in live fire training? Don't touch each other. You see the live fire guy come out like this, he's like, don't touch me. You know why? So search and rescue mode, survey mode, those are low temperature modes that can be used to help you with size up. They can help you find the fire in low heat scenarios. Thermal throttle would be very difficult to use in that mode because as you see, it kicks out. But in a low heat environment, it's great for that. Okay. All right, come on up. I'm going to show you a couple things. Everybody look inside the box. Bring me a FLIR, Bullard, and Seek right up here. I want to show you the advantages and disadvantages, all 3. Look inside here. Can you see through the color with your FLIR? You're going to have to take your glasses off. I can tell you.
I can see.
See through it, can't you? What about the Bullard? Yeah, put the Seek in TI Basic. Everybody in TI Basic.
Yeah.
So what you're going to notice is FLIR shows the best through color. Bullard's second. I think Seek is about third in that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's just
That's pretty.
Yeah. So see how none of these are perfect?
You can see the alligator on the back.
You can see the charring, right? So that's what I'm trying to show you is like, take your FLIR camera right there, sir. The one you have, look inside the box. You should see details through the color. Can you?
Oh my gosh, you can't see anything.
can't see anything. It's just a blob.
Yeah. That's what we call saturation.
Yeah.
Remember I showed you the FLIR video when it went all the way to that point? Okay.
Starting to see objects now.
But it's difficult, right? So the difference is the level of clarity, right?
Yeah.
All right. So everybody stand there. Look at this fire. You ready? Is this over 1,000 degrees, you think? What is the auto ignition temperature you think of carbon monoxide? Over 1,000 degrees, roughly. Let's do that again. Why is it doing it on its own? No torch needed. I have fuel, I have heat, and then I took away what? By the way, never leave the torch below there. I've done that once. It did not go well in Germany. Thankfully, there was no NFPA. Ready? Now, who has their cell phone? Got anybody that doesn't believe in putting water on smoke? Bring your cell phone out. I want you to put it in slow motion video right now.
I don't know.
I can show you. Just go to video. Go to video. Go to video. Scroll over. Point at the box. Let me know when you're ready. Okay. Ready? Start recording now. All right. We're going to do that again. We're going to try to get you a better one. Ready? Record now. See if we get a light. See how that's lighting on its own? Let's see if we get a better. We get a little bit of wind. Good seal. There it goes. That was much better. One more time because we got charring. We don't want to waste this. Ready? There it is. So vent point ignition is pretty common, whether you want to call it flashover, rapid fire development. Everybody wants to argue. It was a backdraft. It was a flashover. If you're in it, you're dead. What you want to do is watch for changing conditions. And here's one thing I want you to be aware of. You look down a hallway. You guys are going to make the push. Oh, 6 foot drop on concrete. That's what it's rated for. You look down the hallway. You got fast moving convection, 50% of space in front of you in grayscale. But 10 feet down the hallway, you got yellow, orange, and red to the floor. One needs to go down that hallway before you do. I don't care if you're smoothbore Baptist, combination nozzle Catholic, or holier than thou hen nozzle. Send water down that hallway. Baptize that thing. Quit arguing about which nozzle. Make sure that it's properly pumped. You got the kinks out of it. And do the sniper spotter. If you're my captain and I'm on a nozzle, you can tell me where to put the water, and I'm just going to go out and follow your directions. You tell me 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, or 360 degrees, I'm going to do that. And I'm going to flow and move down that hallway with you helping me. And then if I get off track, you can say, hey, you need to go back to your 11 o'clock. You're off, or guide me on my bottle. Like I said, you can grab my bottle and steer me if you need to, and then go back to being my heel man. Okay. All right. Watch again. We still got a good enough heat for this. Oh, got too much fire. Stand by. I'm going to have to do a little extinguishment. I'm a water can guy, even though I was an engine guy. Don't tell my buddies that. 2.5 gallons of water and a closed door can do some amazing things to a super hot room. What's the steam conversion ratio for a 1 gallon of water at 212 degrees? 1,700 to 1. Where did we steal that information from?
Science book.
Yeah, well, actually the railroad industry. You know what they also proved? If it's under pressure and it's 500 degrees, it goes from 1 gallon of water to 2,400 gallons of steam. If it's under pressure and it's 1,000 degrees, it's 4,200 gallons of steam to 1 gallon of water. And the same people who told me not to open the nozzle until I got to the fire room told me to point the nozzle at the ceiling. Now, I don't know about you, but the first time I did that, it didn't feel good. Now I know why. Where gas contraction is 6,400 to 1. If I cool, the gas is, and I only get steam expansion, but I get gas contraction, which gives me lift and draws in fresh air to who? Not just to fire victims. Look inside here what 6 squirts of water did. You still see yellows, oranges, and reds? Did it light right back off right away? Now, are your nozzles squirts per minute or gallons per minute? Okay, I was just checking. Watch inside here where I put water. Watch what happens. Wherever I put water, what are you seeing change on your camera?
Yeah.
How many of you had the misfortune of having to paint a ceiling recently? it says white paint, but when you paint it on, it goes on pink or purple. You know why they do that? Because of bad painters like me, I can see what I missed. I'm flowing water in a house fire and he's on up, down, left, right. How do you know you're hitting anything? You're talking about listen for this, listen for that. I'm getting yelled at, stuff's bouncing off the walls. In a burn bin, that works great. But in a real fire, unless you're Marvin Gaye like Aaron Fields talks about, and you're smooth and you got an excellent team with you, you need somebody to help guide you to keep you on track and cool superheated surfaces like couches and floors and walls, right? So I can literally see where to put this water and how that changes it. Look at that. And that's not that much water, is it? But as soon as I stop, what happens? It rebounds right back. All right. So let's try this and see if we can put out a little bit more fire more effectively. Let's just say we kept the door closed and we use this, cooled around the door, put water in here. And we're waiting on our captain because he's taking way too long to do his 360. You know? He finally comes around and goes, fire's in the Charlie side. And you're like, yeah, I know, I already seen it because you put those seats on the back with your guys and you did the 360 with the FLIR. And oh, got me. Thank you. And you open up the door and now you got that. And you're like, oh, it's down there, Charlie side. Start flowing water. Now you're both on the same page and they don't pick up that camera again, RJ, until you tell them to. Is this fire out, gentlemen?
No.
All right. You know what Don Abbott's work showed in Project Mayday? 40% of all Maydays occurred during basement fires during the overhaul phase. Why on God's green earth would you have a Mayday during overhaul? Why? What do you think could possibly go wrong? Somebody thinks the fire's out and then a window fails. We fire up a fan, open up the top half of it. What do you think happens here in just a matter of seconds? What's drawing in here and what's going up the top here? Oh, okay. We're getting our fire back pretty quickly. Now I got a question for you. How long do you think we've been burning? 15 minutes maybe?
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone have any doubts that the side of this box is hot? Does anybody want to put their bare hand on? All right. I need you to make sure your spot temperature is turned on the seat cameras. And I want you to do me a favor. Come over here. Half of you come over here with Mike and Corey. And then half of you come over here in front of this beautiful Ford truck. No, sir. That's survey. It just says the spot temperature just shows up. So tap it one more time. See the number right there?
Yep.
That's your spot temperature.
Okay.
Or direct temperature measurement if we want to be technical. But come over here on the side. And here's what I'd like for you to do, gentlemen. Point the camera at the .com part, what's left of my shiny box. It's supposed to be shiny. And tell me what temperature rating you're getting. Who's got the lowest temperature?
I had 95.
95. Can anybody beat 95? It's clearly not 95 degrees. Would you agree? Okay. Who got, oh, there's an 85. Anybody got cooler than that?
I got 80.
85. You hear what he said? Reflected. What are you actually reading? You're reading the reflected apparent temperature. So this is reflecting the energy out here. So it's close to ambient, not accurate. You know how you can demonstrate this back at the firehouse? How many of you make pasta, potatoes, or rice at least once a week? Why do you do that? Cheap. So you got a big shiny pot on the stove, do you not? Put a piece of electric tape on it first. Get it actively boiling. Tell them to go get the tick. Come in the kitchen. Stand back 5-6 feet. Have them point at the pot and say, is that pot hot? Now all say yes. And then read the spot temperature of the shiny surfaces. It'll be close to the ambient temperature of the room. Then move that little crosshair or reticle over to that black tape and watch the temperature skyrocket. Why did it change when I pointed at the black tape? The tape is what's known as 0.95 emissivity, the same surface value as human skin, rough surfaces, carbonaceous objects, wood, rough surfaces. Your camera is calibrated to read surfaces that are in that range. Anything that's not in that range, such as stainless steel, mirrors, or shiny surfaces, the camera will not read that temperature even close to accurately. I can send you a chart where you go into a commercial grade kitchen, you have a 500 degree spot temperature on the stove, and the actual measurement's 1,300 degrees. That's how far off it is. So do we need to trust this as a thermometer? No, not even close. I was also taught, gentlemen, that reflections could throw me off. You know what they told me to do to fix it? Wave at it to see if it's a reflection. Go in a commercial grade kitchen on fire and wave at it. You'll have 5 of you waving back. Which one is the reflection and which one's the heat source? Nobody taught me how to deal with that. So here's my two solutions for you. If I have a fire, I will have convection coming off the heat source, which will trail off that I can follow. Number one, I will not have convection following all the way off a reflection. Number two, you come up, you have high heat to your right, high heat to your left. You're not sure one of those are reflection. You're on a nozzle. I open up both directions. That was a mirror that shattered. That ain't the heat source. I look over here. The heat source diminishes. Reflections, what? Do nothing when I hit it with water or I break the mirror or window. So water or look for convection to tell you, is it a reflection? So reflections can be identified through convection, basically. Okay. Any questions about this? Okay. All right. Let's let this burn. Let's take a little field trip. Who's got a watch on? What time is it? Perfect. Come on over here. Can I borrow your seat camera for 1 second, sir? Thank you. Y'all stand right here on this yellow line, please. Perfect. All right, here you go, sir. All right, line up on this line, please. We're going to talk about size up really quickly. When we talked about size up, we said we want you to look at the building with your eyes first, and then we want to look at it with our camera, and we're going to start our scans where? Down low and work our way up. And when we're working our way up, we're going to look at the building itself, the infrastructure, and we're going to look for openings in it, like punctures or perforations in the building, doors, windows, pipes, anywhere where there is a place where heat can escape from the inside to the outside for a thermal bridge. Okay. So what I want you to do first is just look at the building. Is there any signs of fire other than our burn damage here? All right. Look at it in TI basic first. And then those of you who have search and rescue mode, electronic thermal throttle, or survey, I need you to turn it on. I want you to look specifically at this window right here.
You want it on search?
Survey mode or in yours, yeah. What's happening around this window? Huh? Is that different inside there? So you saw a good bit of heat signature outside, but when I open the window, how much do you see inside? Look at the thickness of this and ask yourself, how much could it actually hide from you? So when I told you about the envelope of the building, the thinner the envelope, the easier it is for me to find that heat signature. The thicker the envelope, masonry, thicker walls, better insulated buildings, it's going to hide heat from you quite easily. So let's say you're doing your 360 and you come around the side and all the crawl space vents light up and you got smoke pushing out the first floor windows, but you don't see any heat signatures but down low. What does that tell you you potentially should look at? Something like that. Okay. Yeah. Well, when I learned it, COVID, we found a family living in a crawl space. Yes. Yeah. COVID taught me a lot of things I didn't want to learn. That was one. There was a family had taken over the corner of an apartment building. They had basically framed in this hill space to cover up this not so nice area. And they had tied into the plumbing and power and created a living space in there. They were working, but they didn't have a place to live and they were living in that space. Yes, sir. And we actually made a rescue. Our department made a rescue from a crawl space apartment. The guy was illegally letting people live in his crawl space and 2 people died in there. So just be aware that the world is not normal anymore, right? So it never has been, but just look for things that start low and work your way up. Now, when we're working our way up, when we're looking at doors and windows, around the top edges of doors and windows, you can see heat signatures depending on what type of door or window it is. Single pane glass is going to be easy. Double pane glass, you're going to look around the edges and frames. Double pane glass, when the inner pane fails, you'll see a flickering effect. Okay, before it fails, you'll see edges around it where it's lighting up. The actual window locking mechanisms on double hung vinyl frame windows will actually fail and drop and self-vent the window in many cases. Where you start getting into Pella windows and high dollar windows, they're going to hold up really well. You go to Florida, they got hurricane glass. Good luck. Glass shower block. They've got the one I drove by a neighborhood 2 weeks ago in Florida, concrete block, insulated back, stucco over the outside, and hurricane glass. What's the odds of picking up a heat signature through that wall? Probably not as much. Not saying zero, but very hard. I'd be looking at any of those doors, better at the door itself, and also roof lines. I also saw Florida was changing their code where exterior doors are going to open outward because of hurricane stuff. I'd never heard that before. So, you got to know your area and look at things differently and look for all those different nuances in construction. When we start working our way up to the roof line, we start looking at a shingle roof. If we have less than 3 layers of shingles, guess what we can see? Roof joists. If I lay my roof ladder or a standard ladder up there and it fits between the 2 roof joists, what kind of roof system is that? Legacy or lightweight? If it fits between the actual roof joists, a standard 28-foot ladder fits between it. How wide is that? 28-foot ladder's wider than 16. So if it fits between it, that ain't a legacy style construction. That's 24-inch. Your ladder's what, 20, 22, fits between it. You're looking at a lightweight truss all day long. You step off, want you to look at that roof line where you're stepping. Look for non-uniform heat signatures. Watch the Pete Dern video from Fresno. He's walking across the roof. He's sounding, he disappears in a ball of fire. And he had everything on but his gloves and his hood. Look at his recovery. Fingers are gone, ears are cut. Grace of God and good firefighters got him out. He should be dead, but he had his mask on. But if he didn't have a camera, he would have seen where he was about to step. That's why I want you to think about that. You scan, you look for patterns, look at edges where your dormers come together, your ridge vents, your soffit vents, gable vents. You got heat pushing out this end and only smoke on this end. I got fire on this way. It's moving this way, but it helps me with line placement too. Which way am I going to stretch my line? If you guys do your scans on this correctly, your 2 primary objectives will be accomplished at your 360 and your initial scan. Where do I stretch my line for fire attack, and where's my initial search start? Your search priorities and your line placement will be taken care of in a 60-second walk around and a 10-second door scan. Is that worth your investment? All right, so that's the goal here. All right, time check for me.
Yeah.
All right, questions for me. Come in. It's time for me to ask you some questions. Any questions for me? Y'all were great on questions today. I usually don't get that many questions, so I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
I got one.
Okay.
All right. So I guess for lack of better terms, in my department, where as I'm noticing, the back step guy probably has the better camera than the officer.
Starting to see that.
Until like we could actually put something in place. I think my captain will be good for it. But until then, the thoughts on the back step guy doing his own 360 with the camera.
That's up to y'all's policies on that.
We don't have one.
You can do whatever you want. If I can do what I want, we need to talk. Because here's what I would do. If you trust your guys, I'd have my lead guy do me a walk around. I'd have my other guys setting up for either search or fire attack, depending on what you got them doing. And I'd have the ones going to the primary entry point. If I determine that front door is where that person probably used to get in and out of the house, I'm sending somebody there for one primary reason. They're trying to escape. And the likelihood of you finding someone in close proximity to that door is pretty high. Your guys doing your size up, they check inside that door. They come back around. You got your tactical benchmarks. Where am I going for fire attack or where I'm going for search? And then you make your decision from there. So split the difference, whether it's your company officer or your firefighter doing it. One's doing 360, one's checking that doorway, making sure that no one's there, and go from there.
I don't think I'll ever be able to get away from the officer having to do it.
That's fine.
Making the guys do it themselves as well.
But everyone should be doing a size up to your point. Whether you get time for them to do, I've seen company officers have their senior firefighter go with them, walk around, or you swap the camera with the company officer. But if you have time that you can take somebody with you, that's phenomenal. And then send 1 or 2 to the door. But you want to split the difference, because here's what you don't want. You won't want to finish that 360 and open the door and there's grandma, when you could have been like, she's right there. But I don't let them go anywhere they haven't done 2 things: that I haven't looked or sent water first. Because that's how we kill people. They go in over top of it and they're done. So we need to identify the critical, misses, fire ground factors. Am I going in above a fire? Right? I don't want that. But I also don't want to miss a victim. So you come up, we always have a likelihood of someone being inside, but I would always say, let's go for tactical, statistically high probability. Somebody's going to be in close proximity to that door. I need to know where I'm going, what's going on in this building. And you can also identify the hottest part of the building, the coldest part of the building. And if there's a cold spot, you're going to take care of the hot spot, but you can call somebody and say, BC corner windows were dark. Send somebody over to VES those. Because what do you know about that room? It's isolated, and somebody could be in there and be just fine. So your information that you gather has to be communicated. That if you look at all of our Maydays and fireground stuff, we are not communicating that stuff. It's on the wrong channel. It's not heard. But if you can get that out, RJ, that's huge.
And so my next question is, it's not practical. Let's say as an officer, I lead off with the C camera.
Yep.
It's not practical for me to sit here and keep switching modes. What would be the best mode to lead off with?
Coming off the truck. If I roll up, I've already got it set in survey mode.
Survey.
If there's flames rolling out the window, I tap the green button. I say survey mode's done. Because if I got flames, you saw what happened here. Saturation, total loss of detail. But if you got smoke, I'm starting in survey mode for my 360. And then when I get to the door, I'm tapping the green button for one primary reason. Survey mode is horrible at washing out where people would be. It's great for heat. Your FLIR, on the other hand, in search and rescue mode doesn't do that. So survey mode is just heat. So if I'm coming that front door, I'm tapping that green button and I'm not touching that camera again until overhaul. Because the more they press buttons inside, the more likelihood for failure. I like Dennis Laguerre's statement, never insert a variable where you insert a constant. You get all these button presses in there, they're going to cause problems. So to your point, set it. And the only time I press it is right before I make entry and I'm done.
And that mode is?
What, as far as starting?
No. Survey. But when I hit the green button, that switches it to?
TI Basic is the one everybody has to go to every time. Yeah, every camera has to default that, with the exception of one gentleman had the older bullards. You had to press the B and D button to make that go back. They were the rule breaker on that. But that's my general rule. I don't want people pressing buttons in an IDLH environment with oven mitts on, to quote Rob Ramirez. Anybody else got a question? That was good.
Hey, Chief, I got some.
Yes, please.
Well, it is specific about this camera.
Yeah, please.
So on the Bullard, kind of like he asked, stepping off, if I'm in that survey mode.
The thermal throttle on yours. Yeah, they're all different. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yes, sir. So if I'm pointing at a cool surface, it'll set at like 80.
Don't do that.
Okay.
It's a heat-based application mode.
Yes,
this is what I need to do. If you want to find the hottest part, I need to come up to this thing. First, this one has a red box called a hot area detector. Wherever that red box goes, that's what I'm going to set it on right there, upper right corner. I'm going to make sure nothing else is in the field of view but this. No sky, no background. I press down and hold. It highlights that.
Okay.
I'm at 158, which is pretty good range. In the summertime, that still could not be hot enough.
Yeah.
See this tapered pattern? That's a non-uniform heat signature, so that's not normal. Anything above 158 is now going to show up blue. Go ahead and walk around the building with it. Come back and tell me if you see anything above it. Just go ahead and do your walk around. And you'll see really quickly what I'm talking about. So when I tell people with thermal throttle is straight in line to the target, close as you can, no other background energy, set it and rock on. If you have to start pressing buttons, you're wasting time. Nobody's going to want to adjust 30, 40 points with that. It's not practical, as RJ said about being practical with time. That's a great question about Bullard. Any other ones?
No, I just wanted to hit on a point. You've already talked about it. So
No, that's right.
from where we're at, we're right there by Houston. Tick readings at the door, very important. So you'll get company officer reports where, hey, I've got 86 degrees at the door, stuff like that.
Chuck that number.
What's something that you would maybe tell some of the...
Bring your camera. Bring your camera. Come over here. Look at that window with your camera first. And you tell me, is a number more important on that window? Look up. Is a number more important on that window? Or is that more important? Numbers don't save live, interpretations do. Okay. My numbers in math suck.
Yeah.
And you think if he dropped this number right here.
Yep.
Look at that. 119. Here. Where's he pointing? There's no guarantee.
Yeah.
And shades of gray, the movies lie to you. There's more than 50 shades of gray. Your camera uses 256 contrasting shades of grayscale. What shade of gray white right here is the threat? I don't know. Right here, I know. And I'm going to say, I've got high heat around the top half of this door frame. I got yellows all around it.
Yeah.
You know what that means? If everybody knows what yellows mean, that's 300 to 600 degrees. They don't need 156 or they're using it as a thermometer. And that's what's got people killed. Yeah. And they won't get away from it. You know, let me borrow your FLIR for a second, RJ. Let me tell you how this spot temperature works. Y'all ready for this? Right here, I'm at 167. You ready? Back up. Come on, back up. Now look at this window. I'm at 135. All I'm going to do is drop this thing just slightly. 2, move over an inch or 2. 1.5, move over an inch for 151. I'm going to get closer, all the way to here. I'm at 157. What's the problem with what I'm looking at? What kind of surface is that? Metal. Is it slightly reflective? Okay, keep looking at that door, please, or window. Do y'all believe that's hotter than 150 degrees? Yeah. So we saw yellows in that one application mode, which pushed us between 300, 600 degrees on the outside edge of the lintel above it. So what do you think it is on the inside? At least double that. So if you're using a spot temperature measurement and you're not a level 2 or level 3 thermographer using an industrial camera, good luck. Because this is what it takes to get an exact measurement. I have to stand perpendicular to target. I have to have an industrial camera. I have to fill that little perpendicular reticle perfectly. It cannot move. I have to have no wind. I have to know the ambient temperature, the relative humidity. I have to know the emissivity of that surface. Then I have to take a shiny surface, put it next to it, measure the reflected apparent temperature. Then I have to put that information into the camera and hold it perfectly still, take a picture, and get a measurement plus or minus half degree Fahrenheit, and that's for about a 12-inch square. That takes 30 minutes for a level 2 thermographer to do with an industrial camera. You don't own an industrial camera. So departments that are calling out numbers have no idea what kind of danger they're incurring upon their members whatsoever.
You just gotta know it's hot.
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Mongo see heat, Mongo go take care of it.
Yep.
You are a qualitative thermographer, which we are looking for patterns, problems, and people. We are not looking for exact measurements. You know what they tell you? The first thing they teach you in thermography, there is no exact way to measure temperature. We don't measure temperature, we calculate it. So if we're calculating it, what's the chances we could be wrong? If I stand in an angle, I can completely throw that measurement off. If it's a shiny surface, I could be off by double. If I have wind, gone. Can you control all the variables in a house fire or at the front door of a porch? No. And I'm not trying to be mean about it, but I am trying to educate the fire service on why this device is valuable, but also what not to do with it. It's not a magic wand and it's not a thermometer. I do not want firefighters to get killed using this, but I also don't want you to die when you could have used it and saw the bad things coming or got out. So to me, object and hazard identification are the two critical areas we can use these devices to help you do your job better. Where am I going? What am I getting into? Which way is in? Which way is out? How many of you looked at a hose line through a camera? You seen smooth bump to the pump? Try that in Europe when you get the Storch connection. Tell me which way you go. I follow a long black snake to beers at the lake. I'm out of here. There's a dark hose line that has cold water flowing through it, and I'll bet your couplings are slightly beat up, aren't they? So it's dark, shiny through that camera. Identify the hose, identify what's the floor register, where is it located besides on the floor? What is it usually above it, where your vent is? What's above it in many houses? A window, ceiling or floor, boom, window.
Yeah.
What's a window look like? Why would I need to know what molding looks like? What does that tell me? If I follow the molding, where does it connect to? Door frames? What's the doorknob? Shiny? All of these things, gentlemen, are basic infrastructure. You should know what they look like, but you can't see them in the dark and a smoky environment with a flashlight. This can pick them out, and you can go room by room and lead your way out. Remember I told you convection tells you direction? Follow in reverse. Where do you think the convection is going? To the exhaust, which is your way out in some cases. If a two-story house, don't follow it. It's going upstairs. But these are things that we can use to help you do your job safer, smarter, and faster. That's all I'm trying to do, gentlemen. Great question. Anybody else? How'd your walk around go?
As long as I had it set it in an area where I had that heat signature on the building, then I could see this room had heat above the window. Above these windows, there was a space that was heated. And same thing on the outside. So
Okay. Anybody else got a question before I ask y'all a question? Yes, sir. Okay, good question. How do you properly clean them? Let's talk about what you don't do. Don't use solvents or wire brushes on lenses. Okay. Solvents will void the warranty. You get paint on it from a garage fire. Don't do that. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser you can use on the housing, but Mr. Clean Magic Eraser is abrasive. I scrubbed the paint off my baseboard with a Magic Eraser. It will take it off. Do not use a Magic Eraser on the lens or the display. The display, you need to use an alcohol wipe and just use basic Dawn dish liquid. That's about the harshest thing you need to use. I have gotten away with Simple Green. Don't tell anybody that, but it does work quite well. What is that? Citrus squeeze stuff? That works pretty good too. I use fire wipes at the scene or when we're training. I'll do a gross decon with them and then clean them when I get back. But I clean that lens and the charging contacts and the display first, because if I have to use it again, I need it to be usable, right? Watch out for your buttons, stuff getting jammed up down in there. Your connection points on your FLIR and your bullard, there's a cord entry point. That's an intrusion point for water. Make sure that flap is sealed and closed and locked. If not, you will have problems. Can I borrow a FLIR camera? Do not do this on the fire scene or anytime. Drop this down in the dirt, pick it up and go and shove it back in here. That is a terrible way to cause a problem with your camera. The intrusion point on this one is at the top on the bullard. Who has the bullard? On the bottom of the bullard right here under this flap is right here. That's where it gets in. This will wear out over time. You can replace this boot, no problem. So clean it, soap and water, dry it. Make sure it dries before you put it back in the, they call it the contactless charger. If you have a bullard, do not put a sticker or a metal plate across the bottom here and put it in a charger. You will have a fire. You will have a fire, guaranteed. Okay. Do not screw anything into that either. I've seen people do that. But in general, basic maintenance. Do not go crazy. Do not use abrasives or salt. Good question. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
What are your thoughts, regular and gangster,
Yes, sir.
about? So you've got,
Contextual.
you know what I mean? You still keep your widescreen, but
Thomas, one of my lead instructors, kind of holds his that way. He doesn't go gangster all the time. He kind of tilts it, but Thomas is always leaning. So I noticed that if he's leaning, that might more be beneficial. But you can't guarantee what position you're going to be in. So if you're at a different angle, I think you need to make it fit you. So I'm not going to say yay or nay to that. I think if it works for you, great, but know that the opening is probably going to determine more of how you use it. So if I got a tall space, I'm probably going to go gangster grip on it. If I got a wide space, it's more beneficial to be in a pistol grip. You got some weird hallway, you might want to do that. You're leaning into a window, you're going to be leaning anyway. But just be aware, you're going from this to this. You're going from 170 to 120 with your mask on to 51 or 38, depending on how you're holding that camera. So and here's something, since you mentioned that, they don't tell you. Your detector is the shape of a rectangle. So that means you got 76,800 pixels. That's what they say, right? Wrong. Your lens is a circle. Your circle does not cover an entire rectangle. You get 85% of those pixels. They teach you. That's why military detectors are square. The circle almost covers almost the whole part of it, because rectangular chips are cheaper to produce. So that's what we get. Great question. Anything else? All right, here's my question for you before we close out. You are dispatched to a working fire within the next hour. Every class I've taught in the last 3 years, one of you will go to a working fire in 7 days. I've had an unbroken streak. When I left Houston, Sheldon Fire Department made it 1 hour, and they went. Little York made it 3 days, and they went. So here's my question to you. If you go to a working fire in the next week, what's one thing you're going to do differently because of the 4 hours we hung out today? Well, hopefully you get to touch it a lot more. Go back to your department, talk about the value of not just the lieutenant having it, but training you, because one day you're going to be in that position, like we talked about in class. That's what I want for firefighters to learn it now, because I'm seeing more firefighters get thrust in the front seat and they're like, here you go. That's a little late. So I want you to know it now. Yes, sir.
Definitely being able to use it once the awareness levels hit,
Uh-huh.
actually be able to.
Do you feel better about that?
Way better.
Good. How about you, sir?
Definitely cut it on in the truck before I get to the building.
Yeah.
So that's a
Yeah,
big learning
sudden
point.
epiphany.
Yes, sir.
See how valuable your city is?
Yeah. we all been there.
You have no idea. You have no idea how much I've used that video. And then I use mine. So see?
But the hazard identification is super important. Hitting that instead of using it as a thermometer,
Yes,
like
sir.
we've been trained
Yep.
at the the tick reading at the door.
Yeah.
I'm using it for hazard identification.
Oh, I just noticed your hat. I know where you're from now. We have one of your guys in a class in Little York.
They just took it.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. You know Jesse then.
Yep.
Good
Yes,
deal.
sir.
How about you, sir?
Definitely doing a 360 with the tick, the gangster grip, turning it sideways, not really realizing that you only get half the picture, keeping it standard, but turning it sideways, getting the whole picture.
And you're going to go back and share with your guys, right?
Yeah, of course.
My man.
Of course.
That's my main thing.
And then, like you said, also identifying hazards. You saying with the chain, the dude recognizing that the chain was
Energized.
yeah. That's a big thing.
You know the best part about those pictures? Those were actual incidents. I'm blessed that people share stuff with me. Those are not mine. Those are actual testimonies from people that took the training and they said, look what we saw. And I'm like, I get cold chills, man. I'm like, dear God, they were that close, man. If they hadn't picked up that camera, they wouldn't have been here. But thank you. How about you, sir?
Preset my camera to the survey.
Nice. And why would that benefit you? And you can see color early instead of late. I always ask people, do you want to identify the problem early or late? There you go. How about you?
I picked up on a really small detail that I like, rotating the camera.
Oh,
instead of
throttling it?
moving.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
'Cause
Simple.
I tend to move where I want to go with it.
Well, it's our head moves, our body goes, right? But the problem I had with that is this painter scan. We miss things. And plus the camera's going from cold to hot. And you saw the delay when that happened. So if you just kind of gradually, you're not raising up in it. And you're also not dealing with that change as much. Cool. Yes, sir. In the back.